in Miami, facing dozens of federal charges.
It's the first time in history a former president has faced federal charges, and this is in connection to a classified documents probe. Here's a live look from Miami, where the president will enter the courtroom in just a few hours. Reporter Ivan Rodriguez is live in Miami for us with a breakdown of what will happen today. Good morning, Ivan.
Oh, and Sophia, good morning. We know that currently former President Trump is staying at one of his golf resorts about 12 miles away from this federal courthouse behind me. Last night, we know that Trump and his aide, and his co-defendant Walt Naught and their attorneys had dinner at that resort last night, again, alongside their attorneys and also other political advisors. Trump is expected to arrive here at the courthouse shortly before 2 p.m., be placed formally under arrest and processed by U.S. Marshals. At this point, we know that U.S. Marshals are expected to electronically take Trump's fingerprints. We're not expecting them, however, to take a mugshot while he is here. Now, in terms of what we can expect and how much access we can actually see Trump, for example, compared to his New York appearance, we might not be able to see too much of him as he enters the court here. That's because his motorcade might actually use an underground garage here connected to the federal courthouse behind me. Former President Trump might not be here for very long either. He's expected to immediately go back to Miami International Airport after the arraignment, right around 3:35, 3:45 expected. We're also keeping track, though, of a lot of protesters that could be coming in. We're aware of a bus in Orlando that might be loading people in there, dropping them off here in front of the federal courthouse. So as those afternoon hours get a little bit closer, we're definitely going to see things ramp up a bit.
Ivan, so we're seeing video there of those barricades going up. We're seeing police tape going up. You're talking about the protesters that are going to be there. What is the latest that you're hearing in terms of safety?
So what we know right now in terms of barriers directly where I'm standing on the surface street in front of the federal courthouse, we still see traffic moving in front of the federal courthouse and around. So it doesn't seem like barriers are necessarily stopping traffic per se. Behind me, you can see some of this caution tape that was put up yesterday. We're seeing yellow barricades really closer to the federal courthouse. We know that the Miami chief of police, when he spoke yesterday, he referenced what their department's able to really sustain in terms of resources for those big crowds. He says that they have enough resources to really cover between 5,000 and up to 50,000 people. We're really talking about a large amount here. We also know that Miami police is working with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. They've set up a command center as well. The Miami chief of police saying that they're really making all of these security decisions together.
Ivan, one last question here. Do you know, can Trump still run for president while being indicted, even if he were convicted? I know it's a hypothetical, but what do you know about that?
So what we know right now is being indicted, he can still run for president. Even if he is convicted, he can still run for president. The Constitution really only requires that you be a citizen, that you be over the age of 35, and that you be a resident of the United States for more than 14 years. Other than that, there's really no restrictions. It might be harder for an indicted candidate, right, to go out and receive votes, but nothing stopping them from running or even being elected for president.
All right. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez reporting for us, giving us the latest there from Miami. Thank you so much.